Hello Sumates, welcome back to Sew with Adeshola. If this is your first time here, you're welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always stopping by. So in today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to cut and sew this beautiful gown that you're seeing on your screen right now. So without further ado, let's get right into it. To draft the upper bodies, I've gone ahead to fold my pattern paper into two, then I'll go ahead and roll out my starting line. And from that starting line, I'll go up by 7 inches. You know, this is an off shoulder. Then I'll go ahead, mark my bust point on the bust, my waistline, just like I did right here. Go ahead and also do the same thing. And after marking, I'll go ahead and extend the lines, just like I am doing right here. Just go and do the same thing. And after you are done extending the lines, proceed to label it the chest line, bust point, under bust and waistline. And from the center, I'm going to be marking my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and measure it out like that. You also do the same thing. Then after you are done doing that, connect the dots together like that. Then when you are done, come to your waistline. On the part going towards the center, mark 0.5, and to the part going towards the side, mark 1 inches. And I'll also do the same thing on the under bust line. Then I'll connect together just like I am doing right here. Go ahead and do the same thing. And on the bust line, I'm going to come down by 0.5 inches, half an inch. Then I'll connect it to my under bust just like I did right here using my French curve. Then on the other side, I'm going to look at how I place my French curve and also do the same thing. So to the part at our chest line, you want to mark half inch on the side, half inch on the side. Then you want to connect like I did right here. So once you are done with that, you want to go to your chest line and take your body measurement. So for me, my chest line, I'm taking 8.5 inches. Then I will measure what I have in there as a dart, add it back, which is 1 inch, and add 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. I hope you understand. So all I have in there is 11.5. I'm going to come to my bust point and take the same thing. And then on my waistline, I'm going to mark my waist measurement divided by 4, which is 7 inches. Mark my dart, measure it like that. I have 1.5. Then I'm going to have 1.5 as my sewing allowance. Then you want to connect from your chest line to your waistline. I hope you understand. So doing that, we've added our sewing allowance to the side. Then coming to your bust point, you want to come down by the difference between your front piece and your back piece. So for me, it is 1.5. My front is 16.5, while the back is 15 inches. So the difference is 1.5. Then connect it and go ahead and cut your pattern paper out just like I am doing right here. I hope you understand. So I'm going to slash that part open like that. So I'm going to slash that part open like that. Just look at what I did right there. Then I'm going to use my paper tape to tape it together, but I don't have it right here while making this tutorial. So I'll just go ahead and do that off the camera. And for the back piece, I went ahead to mark out my zipper allowance, which is 1.5 inch. Then I went ahead to rule out my starting line. From that starting line, I'm going to come down by 7 inches, place my tape rule at 7 inches just like we did for the front, and then come down to mark your under bust and also your waistline and extend the lines together like that. You want to extend the lines like that. And after you are done extending the lines, I forgot to mark my bust point, so I'm just going to mark my bust point like that. Actually, we don't need the under bust, so I went ahead to mark my bust point, which is 10 inches. So this is the bust point on the bust and the waistline. And from that zipper allowance line, from that point, look at where I'm taking my measurement. I went ahead to take my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4 inches, just like we did for the front, and connect it like so to the bust point. Then on each side we are going to take half inch as your dart. Then you're going to connect to your bust point just like that. That is going to serve as our dart for the back piece. Then I'm going to extend that my waistline into the zipper allowance area so that I can take my zipper bulge out. So to do that, I'm going to come out by 0.75 and then extend the line to the chest line. I hope you can see what I did right there. That's going to remove our zipper bulge, and there I'm going to come up by 0.5 inch, which is half an inch, to also remove our zipper bulge. You will see how the back is going to look very neat, and it will be so laid when you do this. So you want to go ahead and remove those zipper bulge. So that's what I'm just going to do right now. I'm going to be removing that, cut that part out. I ought to actually take my body measurement before cutting this out, but it's never too late. So to do that, you're going to start your measurement from that zipper allowance line. I took my waistline, which is 7 inches, my waist measurement. Then I added the 1 inch for that, and also had 1.5 inch for allowance. And I also did the same thing on the chest line. So I'm just going to connect from the chest line to the waistline like this. Then I'll proceed to cut it out. I hope you understand what I have explained right there. So that is all we have for the back piece. It is nothing too much. So this is the fabric I'll be using, a crepe fabric. It is about 2.5 yards. So that's all you need: your zipper, your matching thread, and the applique or the trimming you want to place at the neckline. So after doing that, I just went ahead to add ½ inch on that side, so that we can use the ½ inch for joining, and the other side, at the side, I didn't add any allowance to it. You know, we already added our allowance, so that's just all we did. Then I added ½ inch at the down part. I hope you understand, for joining. So that's just all for the front and the back piece of the upper part. And for the down part, I had gone ahead to fold my fabric into 2, and I'm going to roll out my starting line just like this. And to know what you want to fold, what you need to do is to divide your hip circumference by 4. Whatever you have, add about 2 inches to it, and that's just all. So I went ahead to fold my fabric, mark out my starting line, and from that starting line I'm going to place my tape rule at 16.5, which is my front bodice. I hope you understand. And from that part, I'm going to be marking my my hip line. So I'm going to come down to 25 inches for my hip line, and from there, from that hip line, I'm going to mark my knee line, which is actually 40 inches. So at that 40 inches, from there I'm going to go ahead and mark the length of my gown, which is 58 inches. Then I will go ahead and add 2 inches to it for hemming allowance. I hope you understand what I did right there. Then I will come to the starting line, which is also the waistline, and then I'm going to impute my waist measurement, which is 7 inches. Add 1 inch to it for that, and then add 1.5 to it. So all I have in there is 9.5. And on the hip line, I'm going to mark my hip measurement, which is 8.5 rather. Then I add 1.5 inch to it, which makes it 10, because this material is actually stretching. And then on the nail line, I'm going to minus 1 inch from what I have on my hip line. I hope you understand that. It also takes the same measurement at the end part, at the end of my dress. I hope you understand. So since I took 9.5 at the nail line, I'm also going to take 9.5 at the end of my dress. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect it like this. Connect it from the down to the nail line, and from the nail line I'm going to connect to the hip, and from the hip to the waistline. I hope you understand what I did right there. Then on the waistline, I'm going to mark 4 inches, which is my nipple to nipple measurement for my dart, and I'm just going to notch it like that. So that's just it. Then I will proceed to just go ahead and cut out the parts we do not need. So to cut out the back piece, I went ahead to fold my fabric into 2 as well, place my front piece on it, and left about 1.5 inch as well for the zipper allowance. I hope you can see that. Now we are going to use the front piece to cut out the back piece, and to do that I'm going to extend my hip line from the front down to the back, because I want my butt to sit perfectly in my back piece. I hope you understand. I'm going to come down by 4 inches from that hip line like so. Then I'm going to extend the line like that. I'm just going to mark out that line. Then I'm going to come down to the waist line of my front piece like that, come in by 0.75 like we did for the upper part. Then I'm going to slant it into our hip line at the back. That's to eliminate our zipper bulge. Then I'm just going to come in a little bit by 0.5 inch on that line as well, on that 4 inch we came down by, and then make a curve so that our butt can sit perfectly into that area. Then the rest I'm just going to mark it down using that 1/2 inch. I hope you understand. So that's just all. We are then going to go ahead and cut it out. Then once you are done with that, the next thing we're going to do is to also eliminate the zipper bulge at the back piece. You know, we came up by 1/2 inch on the upper part, so we are also going to do the same thing. I'm going to go down by 1/2 inch, then I'm going to slant it down into the end of my back piece like that. That's just to eliminate the zipper bulge. Then you want to go ahead and cut it out. And after cutting, the next thing you want to do is to use the front piece to cut out the back piece on the side. So that's just all we are going to do now. And yes, I would like to take a minute of your time to appreciate you for staying with us today's time. And if you have learned one thing or the other while watching this tutorial, I want you to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you like it, comment, share, and as you do that, the Lord will continue to bless you. Please like, comment, and share, okay? And after we are done with that, the next thing we want to do is to use the front piece as well to also notch our back piece for the dart. I hope you understand. So that's just all for the cutting of the front and the back piece of this masterpiece. And I don't want this tutorial to take too long, so we are going to be stopping at this point, and in the next tutorial I'm going to drop the sewing tutorial. Thank you for sticking with us to this time. Bye. See you in my next tutorial.